This episode is called The Toxic Baby Mother. Go ahead and share this live real quick. We're going to get started. So, all right. So, today my guest is Quinay, my cousin. So, Quinay, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello, hello, hello.
You got a job. So are
Oh,
you
I
a
got
bitter
a
baby
job.
mother? But
2 kids. No, I'm not a bitter baby mother. Um, I have two baby fathers.
mm,
Well, my children have dads. I like to
two
call
different.
it like that.
Gotcha.
Two different. Yeah, no.
All right, guys. And for those who don't know, I am a single mother of one. Um, I would not say I'm a toxic baby mother, but I would say Jesus is working on me. So there's that. Alrighty. So the first question is, what makes a baby mother toxic? Would you like to
Um,
start?
sure. I would say I would consider a toxic baby mother is basically one who will put more energy, more negative energy towards trying to co-parent, not trying to put her feelings or how she feel aside for the child. Basically, doing whatever she's trying, doing something that's stopping her from co-parenting. Yeah,
So a toxic baby mother is basically a selfish mother, one that's not really thinking about the needs of the child.
basically.
Right. So with that being said, what is an example of toxic baby mother behavior that you
One main one is one example would be a woman that if she doesn't get her way, then she wouldn't let the father see the child based on her feelings, but don't have good reasons why.
so the, oh, we're not together, you don't need to see your child, you won't give me this money, you don't need to see your child, that type of thing, right?
Oh, heavy on that type of thing.
Heavy.
Yeah,
So that leads into the next question,
heavy.
which what a child support for? Because I notice a lot of toxic baby mothers, the first thing they shove down the man's throat is child support, child support, child support. So what do you think child support should be used for versus what it is used for?
think that I think that child support can be. I think child support is a good thing that's been manipulated. I think that the father is not in the home with the child because when the child is home with the mother, I believe sometimes, most times, the mother pays more. And so, with that being said, the father only pays a certain percentage, and which will be a reasonable percentage because the judge will write this out, and it should be used for that child. As far as clothes, um, any type of sporting event they want to be in, some type of gymnastic. I don't think it should be used towards rents or utilities.
So if a mother is struggling to pay her rent and the child support is enough to cover it, you don't think she should pay rent with it?
I think she shouldn't rely on it. I think that's her own responsibility. Maybe towards some of it towards it if she's struggling, because that would just only be common sense. But not all of it. No, that's not what it's for,
Okay,
in
so
my opinion.
I know in New York State the child support percentage for at least one child is 17% if that's the only child. Um, a lot of people, however, do get way more than the 17%. And I do feel like they're using it on things. My biggest issue with females in child support is they baby looking poor and they got a new weave or some new clothes. Or, for instance, I used to work at McDonald's and people will order mad food and come through the drive-thru and pay with the New York State child support card. There'd be no kids in the car. There was no Happy Meals on the order, no nothing. And it was like you just bought yourself food with your child support.
Well, you can't really go off of that because sometimes women feel like, because child support hits once a week, I believe it hits once a week. So if she used that card and replaced her money with it, say if she bought her kid something with her money and then she was like, okay, I'm gonna use this card until Friday or something like that, that's nothing wrong with that. You can't really determine when they're using it for it and what they're using it for. So
Okay.
yeah.
So what about a baby mother who has multiple kids with different fathers? She gets child support for just one child and she uses that money for all of her children.
What you mean? Like, how do I feel about that?
Right. Should that child support go just for that child? Or is it fair that she's stretching it between all of her children?
I think I think that if she has 3 kids
Mm-hmm.
and one child, if the child that she has, okay, if all kids are set and this one kid need a t-shirt, I don't think nothing is wrong with you
Mm-hmm.
using your child money to get the other kid a t-shirt. No, yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
What about Christmas presents?
Um, long as the kid doesn't go without, there's nothing should be wrong with that because you know, I myself wasn't raised to be like that. So if you have this money and you know your sister like this teddy bear and you have money in your pocket, my child will be like, okay, let me get her, a teddy bear or so.
Okay, because I know there's a lot of fathers complaining, saying that they're paying child support for children that aren't theirs because their baby mother have multiple children and they're like pissed about it. And I feel the same way you feel. If I get a certain amount of money for one kid and then I don't have anything for the other kids, I don't think it's fair for me to shower my one child with a bunch of stuff while the other one gets to watch. Um,
Yeah.
Sierra said one baby father is providing for his kid. Why should he provide for another kid that's not his? I mean, I do get the point. Like, I do. But if Keon had a sibling and I wasn't getting nothing for his sibling, I wouldn't just let Keon get a bunch of stuff and then his sibling get nothing. I don't think that's fair.
I think that's
Like,
actually selfish in a way,
Alexa
in a
said she
sense.
has something to say, so go ahead and ask Lex. While we waiting for that, the next question was, are there any reasons why a father shouldn't see his child?
Um, I believe that to it's ways to do certain things. I believe that if a man is very disrespectful to the mother in front of that child, then I believe that you have to have some type of set of visitations because nobody should have to endure disrespect. But on the same token, if you just, it has to be like a valid reason. You can't just say, "Oh, I don't like how he talked to me," and he can't see his kid. You have to make it so where y'all either have to have a mutual friend do a drop or so. You just cannot just cut the father off completely. Now, if he's causing harm to your child, of course, but there's other ways and other outlets to so where that man can see his child.
I feel like as long as the child is not abused or mistreated in any way, it does not matter how he treats you. You, like you said, you set something up. You know, if you can't see him, there's court ordered visitation. You drop the kid off, whatever the case. But I don't think there's any reason that a child should not be able to see his father, or vice versa, just because you can't get along with the father.
Mm.
Um, unless like extreme case, like maybe it's a woman out there, maybe she feared for her life against her baby father. That's like extreme. That's like a different story. You know, let the court handle that. But as far as women withholding their children as a punishment to the man, I don't think that's right, and I think that's really a punishment for the child. Um, which leads into the next question, which is how is the child impacted by this toxic behavior?
Confused between the two. He probably feel like, or he or she probably feel like she'll pick a side. Will have to pick a side. I feel like she will have, the child will have some type of relationship problems as far as friendship, communication. It can affect them in a lot of ways.
Right. Some of these comments are just now coming in. It was like, so just because the baby father broke, he can't see his kid. No,
No, no.
that has nothing to do. You cannot be mad at your baby father for being broke. He was broke when you laid down with him. That's his kid. He deserves to see his kid. Time spent is way more valuable than money spent. Um, Sierra said everything is wrong with spending the child support money between all the kids when it just goes to one kid. She's completely against it. Lex said child support is a small reimbursement for the money already spent. That's facts.
Yeah, definitely facts. If the man is not in the household, I really don't see where the problem will come in, because any man that was in the household with a child, even if the child is not there, they see how much a child requires.
I will
So
say this though, Sierra. How do I word this? If the mother is toxic and she's relying on the child support to do things, that's the issue. If you can't get up and get a job and take care of your responsibilities without the child support, that's the issue. But if you are doing everything you're supposed to do as a mother and it just so happened maybe you need a little help with something, I honestly don't see the problem. Um, so leading into a whole nother discussion, if a man doesn't want to be a father and he expresses that to you, is he a deadbeat for not wanting to take care of the baby after?
hold on, it's breaking up. What you say?
If a man doesn't want to be a father and he expresses that, is he a deadbeat for not wanting to take care of the baby after?
Now, how I feel about that is, now I'm full on people like, if, because people always want to say it takes two to have make a baby. Yes, I agree with that. I
Mm-hmm.
totally agree with that. But people have sex for pleasure. So, like, it's her choice to keep the baby, it's his choice to voice his opinion. So, if he tell you from the beginning that he don't want to take care of his child, you have the decision to keep or not to keep it, because he can't make you. You get what I'm saying? Women have the
Right.
upper hand to keep the baby or to not keep the baby. So, does it make him a deadbeat? Technically, yes and no. But I just feel like you should give up your rights, and then, or give up your rights or just pay your child support because you have to have just because you choose not to be a child it's still your child it's your still your responsibility. So basically you're saying you don't want to be there physically, but responsible wise, you have to take care of that child.
Okay. So my thing is, no, because my thing is, okay, you voice you didn't want the baby, and I get that. But what I also get is if we having sex for pleasure, you didn't want a baby, then there's precautions to take not to have a baby, and you did not follow through with that. Therefore, if I have this kid, because I don't believe in abortion personally, you a deadbeat if you don't want to take care of the responsibility. I didn't want a kid either. I got pregnant, but I'm taking care of the responsibility because it happened.
Yeah, but at the same token, it's your choice. Just like you have, say, if he wanted to have the baby, and he was like, "Well, I'll just have sexual pleasures," say you had other kids, like, "Well, I can't do this right now." But would that make you what? What makes you wrong because you chose to have abortion? Because some people are pro-choice. Would that make you wrong because you had the decision where you don't want to? You made the decision to abort because you don't want to struggle, and it's not a guarantee that he will not become a deadbeat. Because everything ain't always peaches and cream because it can go left. Sometimes a man can say, "I don't want the baby," then he see him, and then he'll wake up, and then some people stick to their choice.
Sierra actually just made that same point, and what I'll say is, a lot of people say when it comes to abortion and stuff, it is the woman's body, is the woman's choice. However, I do feel like it's fair for the man to at least express how he feels, but at the end of the day, the woman does make the decision. Um, no, Sierra, it doesn't make the mother a deadbeat for getting the abortion, but I feel like as adults, we just really need to do better. If you're having sex other for any reason and don't want a baby, then you need to take the precautions to not have a baby. And yes, mistakes happen clearly, but at what point do they stop becoming mistakes and it's just really you? Um, which leads into, is having multiple baby fathers toxic?
No, no. How? I mean, it's life. Everything is not written in stone. I don't think one failed relationship should taunt you or not having more children because you don't want to have another baby father. I mean, there's people that have been married twice, three times. No, I have my limits now. I don't think that like that don't make you toxic because sometimes people, like you said, don't believe in abortions and they just I don't know.
I think there is a limit, and to a certain extent, yes, it is toxic. Because at the end of the day, you have to also realize, although relationships don't work out, you cannot have a receipt per every relationship didn't work out. Like you have a pregnancy from every relationship. Those are people that you let into your body, and for whatever reason, after the first one or two, maybe three, you didn't learn from your mistakes and you just kept doing it. At what point were you gonna sit there and just be like, okay, I need to approach my relationships a different way? Let me figure out how to see if this one is really for me before we start taking these steps. You can't just be out here raw with everybody just because they say they love you. I feel like that's the toxic part to it. I'm doing something right now.
I think it all depends on how close the kids are in age because you can't if you started off at 16 and had a
Mm-hmm.
kid and then you had another one at 21
Okay.
and then another one at 25, it's like everything is real unpredictable. That's why you have to be more disciplined in your relationship, and really, that's why they say get married first.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, I just feel like everything is just based on choice and consequences. Because you can be with somebody that have, what's the difference? Well, you can be with somebody that have 3 baby fathers, and then you can be with a man that have 6 kids with one woman. So it all depends on what the next person will consider baggage and another person will consider too much.
I feel like if
Because
a
just
man
because he
has
has
6 kids, though, with the same woman, that at least shows that he tried to make that one relationship work and he wasn't out here just impregnating a bunch of people.
not necessarily, that means they've been having a lot of unprotected sex and had 6 kids because the relationship could have been toxic. They can be together for 10 years and been happy for only about 2 of them.
Okay.
So it all depends.
Um, should DNA tests be required at birth? I personally say yes. There's too many men out here raising kids that they find out later on isn't theirs, or that they never find out at all.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. It's a lot yeah. Because once you sign that birth certificate, it don't matter if it's your kid or not. You was
Right.
responsible for that child.
And in New
So
York State, you got
yeah,
3 years
us
to
having
figure it out.
boys, and I think if it was a requirement, it would be like all the drama behind it would be set aside. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
because there
yeah.
would be no, oh, this ain't my child, this is my child. We're gonna take the DNA test up front. Because I ain't gonna lie, you can't trust women, you can't trust men. It's not a man versus woman thing. You can't trust nobody. Just because you've
Right.
been in a relationship with me for 5 years don't mean this child is yours, to be honest. Which is messed up. And these women to really sit there and let another man raise somebody else's child.
And it's a hurtful
Um,
thing. So
right. You find out
yeah.
that child not yours, and then you got to go. It's too much. Way too much. Mm-hmm. And with that being said, the next question was, do you think some women can be born with baby mama traits?
Oh yeah. Hmm.
Born with it?
Born with it. Born into it. Born into it.
Okay, let's say
That
she
can
born
be.
into it, because I can relate to that. Say she's born into it.
Okay.
So growing up, all she learns is baby mama traits because her mother was a baby mama. However, those are traits learned, and you can easily unlearn them if you wanted to. It's going to take hard work, but I still don't feel like there's a reason to have this baby mother trait. You have to get over it at some point in time.
Yeah.
She said, no, you can't be born with that trait. Nah, I don't think you can be born with it, but I do think you can be born into it and raised around it and pick up on it. But as we stated our last episode with the independent Black girl, we learn traits like independent traits from our mothers, and eventually we have to be ourselves.
Yeah.
So I don't think it should be an excuse as to why you running around here acting like a baby mama. Um, the next question was, does vocalizing I'm single keep you single? I'm a single mother. I'm a single mother. You gonna keep saying that? Is that gonna keep you a
Are you
single
saying
mother?
this to oh well, if you're saying this to, yeah, kind of. If you're saying this to the child father, I'm a single mother. I'm a single mother. I guess he's gonna let you be one. I
Let's
think
just
you know
say
what.
you on Facebook every other day.
You know
I'm a
what?
single mother. I'm a single mother. You think a man's gonna inbox you because you a single mother?
I think that women get it confused what a real single mother is. A single mother is shit. I think you get shit. I think a single mother is basically someone that shit don't have a father in the household. That's a single mom because
Right.
you can be
So
in a
what is there to
relationship and still be a
confuse?
single mother.
Right. So what is confusing about that?
Some women just feel like oh shit, I don't know. Why would they be? I'm a single. I'm kind of confused. I'm a single mother.
There
I
are
mean,
women.
like yeah. I
I
mean, I
feel like
get.
that goes into the independent toxic woman trait. You know, I'm independent, I'm independent, I'm independent. I could be a single mother, I could be a single mother, I could be a single mother. This is what I do.
Yeah, I think that's basically you yelling that I'm a single mother and I'm proud. Which is nothing wrong with being proud of it, but are you a single woman that want to change it? I think it's giving mixed signals. It's like, do you want to be a single mother, or would you rather have a one family home? Like you gotta tell people what you want.
Crystal said her mom wasn't a baby mom, but unfortunately, due to things out of her control, ended up a baby mom. It happens. Crystal, what part isn't true? I'm confused. That's not true. My mom wasn't a baby mom, but unfortunately, due to things I know. So your mom wasn't a baby mom at first, but then life happened and she became a baby mom. If I'm reading this correctly, what you're saying is your mom let circumstances beyond her control make her toxic and bitter to turn into a baby mother. And it happens. That such is life. You know, we've all
Yeah.
been there. I've been there. You know, my son is now 7 and I've been good for a couple of years now, but I had a really hard time with it at first. I was definitely the baby mother type until I learned, why do I care what he do and don't do? As long as he's there for my child, it ain't got nothing to do with me. Um, and just to clarify, there's a huge difference between being a baby mama to me and being a mother. As we said earlier, a baby mama is that more so selfish. You're not doing it my way, so you ain't got to see these kids. You can't see me. You can't see these kids. You're not paying child support. You can't see these kids. Nope, I don't need you. I can do it all by myself. That's the baby mama in my eyes, and that's who we're talking about. Sierra said that's not what I'm saying. Some women want to be a baby mother, or they push the father away on purpose to be a strong single mom. Yes, that do happen. A lot of women, you know, if we not in it together 100% and they got the baby, they feel like, you know what, I can do this by myself. What I need you for? We're not going to be a family. What do I need you for?
Well,
That's
that's
toxic.
selfish. Yeah,
Toxic.
that's no, because it's no, because it's not about you. It's about the child.
You you wanted a two-parent household. It just didn't work out. That's not saying you have the trait. Yeah, no. So I hope I clarified that. I'm not saying your mother was a baby mother just because her relationship didn't work out. I'm saying a baby mother is somebody who has a toxic trait. Um, no, I was responding to Sierra saying, okay, cool. At least I still got it out there though for those that just tuned in. Um, how do you avoid being a baby mama?
How do you avoid being a baby mother?
If you could talk to your daughter right now and tell her how she could avoid being a baby mother, what would you tell her?
So avoid far as like what being a single mother or a toxic baby mom, like
At first, let's say toxic, because I think
yeah,
we all know in order not to be a baby mother, you just need to have safe sex or be with somebody that's going to be there for you. But
right.
to avoid being toxic, what would you suggest?
I would tell my daughter that if you love your child enough, you put up with you basically put your pride to the side and however you feel, you put that to the side and know you know what's best for your child. So give what's best for your child. So, and if you did have a father or a good role model around, you would know how you would want your child to be treated. And if you didn't, that even give you a better enough reason to give that to your child and pass that down to your child to give to their child.
Crystal
Yeah.
said, if I had a daughter, I'd tell her to wait until marriage. I think we all gonna tell our children that, to be honest. Um, my mother told me that, and I got pregnant at 15, to be honest with you. But I will say, how do I word this? You have to know the person that you're giving yourself to. For
Yeah.
me, I did not know the type of person that my son father was. I thought I knew, but I didn't really know him. I didn't really spend that time with him. I didn't get to know him for him. And it's not his fault or mine's really, because at the time we were young. But when you're young and you're active, you have to live with grown up consequences when they come out. So you know who you with, know who that father is. If
I
you know if
think
they're gonna, huh?
Go ahead. I think that's where the problem is. I think the problem is where people put too much energy towards the other person because like I said, it's life. It will happen. Even if y'all was the happiest couple and then y'all have a baby, you got to know what the aftermath of all that. All the love you had and all that, y'all had that, but it's the little person that matter. What the question is what are you going to tell your kid if this doesn't work out? What type of parent are you going to be? So you will have to tell them like, baby is not a guarantee. You have to be mature and you got to know what's best for your child and what works for your kid. It's all about the kid. It don't matter if you know the person or not because people change, feeling change, and that's just how it is.
Do people really change that much though, or you just don't know that about that person?
Yeah, a
Like
lot of
you can
stuff
get in a
changed. Yeah,
relationship and like you said, be happy, but like if you don't know the type of person that that person will be without you, I don't think you know that person.
but because it's the thing is when the child is involved, it's too late. Like, say you know your man, you've been dealing with your man, but then y'all move in together. Now, like, oh, I don't really care for him. Or he can be the best boyfriend you have for 5 years, but the worst husband. A kid is guaranteed. So it's like, you just don't, you gotta go you gotta go with the flow. You gotta let go and let God.
All right, I don't know what just happened, but we back. All right, where were we? Wear condoms, getting pregnant just don't have. That's a big fact. At the end of the day, we really, if you're not ready to be an adult about having sex, don't have sex. And if you're an adult having sex, you need to use protection. That is the bottom line. To just avoid everything. Marriage isn't guaranteed. Sometimes it don't work out, and it doesn't. But you have to, at the end of the day, put your feelings aside, like Quinay said, and focus on that child. You cannot, my husband did this to me, he did that to me, he doesn't deserve to be a father. No, because you thought he deserved to be a father when you had that baby. It is what it is. No, that's why relationships don't work out. Sierra, what you mean?
I'm sorry. Can I unmute myself and talk? Because I can't keep commenting. I just
Come
can't.
on and join us, Sierra.
Hey, y'all. So the baby first. Yes, the baby is first. But you have to put each other first to make it work for the baby. That's why a lot of people are single mothers and single fathers. Because when the baby got here, they put so much energy into the baby that they lost sight of why they was with each other in the first place. So that's why when y'all have kids, I don't have kids. I'm just speaking for what I see. If I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong. But when people have kids, every little thing the spouse is doing aggravates them now because they just like, what are you doing? Like, like, what am I trying to say? Like, y'all so focused on a kid, now y'all just picking arguments with the other person. Like, y'all have to put each other first because y'all foundation has to be built strong so that baby could. That's why there's single mothers and single fathers. And that's just my little 2 cents.
I personally don't know how to respond to that because me and my son's father, to be honest, was never in a relationship. We were friends. We had sex once. I got pregnant. So we had to deal with the aftermath of all of that. So my situation was really, I was too young to be doing what I was doing anyway. I wasn't ready to deal with the adult consequences of acting like an adult.
You said what she said because it was breaking up. Like I couldn't really catch it.
Oh, you didn't hear?
Oh,
yeah, I ain't really.
Okay. So basically, what I'm saying is the parents put so much energy into the child that they lose sight on why they were together in the first place. That's what creates single mothers and single fathers. You have to build a foundation for your child. You have to make sure y'all good, make sure y'all solid before y'all bring a child in. And when y'all do bring a child in, y'all can't forget why y'all was together in the first place. Like, people will be like, I don't understand like why he changed and all of this stuff. It's probably because you put so much your focus on the child that you forgot that you have a man. That's why what I see from friends and outside looking in. You ask a man like, well, why y'all break up or whatever? She didn't do what she did before the kid. Like, you still gotta find that balance between being a mother and being a girlfriend or being a wife or whatever. Like, you just gotta find that balance. You can't just put your energy on a kid. Yes, you should, but you gotta make sure your foundation is solid. If your foundation, your house is crumbling.
No.
So,
Oh, I agree to that. I'm saying like far as when it doesn't work out, that's why I'm saying that's when the focus is on the child. But I definitely agree with you saying. It's definitely like that, like they be saying what comes first, men's
man, son,
yeah,
father,
yeah.
Joe, don't
Yeah,
be making me feel bad.
I'm definitely the one that believe like no, kids are kids. It's you and the couple first, the children, and
If you are my husband and we're working things out and that's the way it is, I will put my husband first. But if you are not my husband, I'm putting my son first.
That's a fact.
Your husband. Well, y'all gotta. What happens to your fiance when I think they get it mixed up when they say first because if that was the case, y'all coming to be one. So the children have to know their place. So it's not that you're putting your kid second. You just be like, I don't know how to explain it.
It's like this.
But
So
like
wait,
Sierra
because one
said.
of the posts, wait, hold on. Before I say that, real quick, Crystal did say not necessarily. Most men don't understand postpartum. That's a factor too. That's a
Yeah.
huge
Oh yeah,
factor.
yeah. Well, that's a whole different subject.
That's a
But
huge
it's
factor. You
serious.
know, men be complaining.
Yes.
She don't do this. She don't do that.
That's a
She is
fact.
depressed. She has postpartum depression. She is a mother and getting up and breastfeeding at 2 in the morning when she's usually sleep by 9. But yeah, back to what I was saying. So the supposed to be like, you cook dinner, who eats first, the husband or the child? In my eyes, I'm a cook,
That's my stomach.
and we gonna make these plates together and eat together. I never understood that.
Okay, so boom, I like this one right here. This is on me right here. So boom, I cook a big dinner, right? Who eats first, the kid or the child? I'm coming to my husband first, babe. Who do you think should get the plate first? We come to agreement that the child eats. That's what I mean by going to your husband first, and then coming to an agreement, and then doing what's that. If y'all come to agreement that the child should eat first, you still came to your husband first. That's what people is like getting confused. They think, oh, my husband is eating first. They take it away from my child. Like, no, that's not it.
Like everybody's gonna eat.
Yeah,
Like,
everybody is going
does
to.
it matter? Like we all at the table together.
I just make everybody plate. I don't understand this first, second. That keep playing with
And
me.
I
I'm eat
mean,
first.
like technically, if you put that whether that's the thing. If you want to act like you're not, if you want to act like you're married, and this man is the man of the household, why wouldn't you? What is it to respect the man of the house?
Facts.
Like I think that if you want to be a single, independent person, then don't get in a relationship. Yeah, don't get in a
Yeah,
relationship then,
see,
because there's nothing wrong with you making your man a plate first. Like,
especially if he bought all the food, you about to get.
like damn, like what you going? You just gonna serve your son this big old plate, and they're like, okay, I got you, babe. You be like, what?
But if y'all
Damn.
come to an agreement that kids
Yeah,
eat
you get what I'm saying? It's like I think it's just too much of unnecessary drama. Like it's really not a big deal. It's really not. Yo, shut.
Raven, you disagree, don't you?
Excuse me, that's
Partly,
all.
partly. Like I agree with what y'all said, but in the sense of there is a way to respect the man of the house. You have to. Like I don't think you can be in a relationship and not respect that there's the role of man in the house, woman in the house, and the child should be in the child's place. But as far as like who comes first, the man or the child, like I said, my husband will come first. But if I am not married, and let's say I got Keon and I have my boyfriend, if it's an extreme situation, Keon is gonna come first. But that doesn't mean I don't respect my man as being the man of the house.
I think your man wouldn't. If your man find out there's a problem, extreme. What the hell? Well, yeah. Oh God. Understand?
I
Yeah.
couldn't think of a scenario to where I would have to, but like I do feel like there's a difference. I can respect my dude as being the man of the house and still have Keon, because at the end of the day, like if you're not my husband, that means you did not take a vow to me. You know, we together, we hoping for a future, but I don't know what's really gonna happen. We ain't take that step yet. Whereas my son is my blood.
I think it's two different categories, honestly.
Maybe.
Your children is your children. Your children should always be straight. Just being a mother in general. And
Right.
your man is your man. I believe if that is the man for you, he's going to make sure your child and you, by putting for your man making sure stuff is straight, he's making sure you're straight so you can help your kid. I think that's why a lot of women's blinded to that. If he's there for you and he's helping your kid, because your kid is definitely going to benefit from that. If that's the right man for you
If
and your
that's the
child.
right man. And this isn't my situation at all, but I know a lot of people where Their situation is their man is relying on a woman. It is the woman house. That man is just there, living off of her, eating the kids' fruit snacks. We see the jokes all the time. But that's a real thing. People really out here doing this. It's a situation like that. Nah, sis, put your child first. Because what is that man doing for you?
Mm-mm. Yeah, that's just. Mm-mm. No. Mm-mm.
Sierra, did you have anything else you wanted to chime in, huh?
No, this topic really not for me. I'm not a baby mother. I'll probably offend a lot of people if I said something. So
Speak on it.
no, I'm just I read
We here to talk about it.
I typed my comments in. I'm good. I'm behind the scenes.
It's you talking and nobody can see you for me.
I know that's good because I look a hot mess right now.
All right. Let me see if I missed anything. I'll say at the end of the day, life happens. You have mothers and fathers, and they have to co-parent. But this segment was really about the toxic baby mother. Ma'am, stop holding that child away from his or her father. It endangers the child more than anything. I promise you it does. Child support, that should be for the child. You should not have to rely on child support to live your lifestyle or to keep up with a habit that's not that child. Um, there is no reason other than harm, neglect, or abuse to where you should keep your child away from that father. Stop calling him your baby daddy. If that is your child's father, that is your child's father. If you choose to be a deadbeat baby daddy, by all means. Like if he just refused, whatever. Don't even contact him. Like when they said in the beginning, do what you got to do. You get the child support. Leave that man alone. He already done made it very clear. He don't want nothing to do with that child. Leave it alone. But if you come around later on and tries to build a relationship,
Let him. Cause
yeah.
listen, let him. Cause at the end of the day, it does. You have to put your feeling to the side. Now, I will say this. Like a lot of women battle with this. There's a time where men will come in and interact with the kid and then leave back out. Now, if you find that it's hurting your kid, then I would definitely say, you know what, just go on with your life. Don't bring him up to your kid because some people be like, well, your dad this or that. If the kid don't bring him up and that's happening, then just let your baby live. Don't bring him up no more. I wouldn't bring it up because
But is
that's
the in
hurting
and
him
out
more than
because
it
of
is,
that's the person he is, or is the in and out
right.
because of the relationship that he has with you? And I think that's another thing. There are relationships that people have with their children, and some men, they are in and out. They're going to the store to pick up a pack of cigarettes and don't see their child for another 5 years. However, I know too many cases where the man is in and out and the child don't know that the reason behind it is because the mother is bitter and the mother is keeping that child away from him. So then when the child asks mommy why daddy didn't come and see me today like he said he would, she not going to tell that child, oh, because I cursed your father out, told him not to come. She just
Yeah,
going,
but that's where the bitter baby father come. Nothing should stop you from seeing your kid. I don't care if your baby mom cursed you out, called you all types of names. Hey, if you feel some type of way, let the day go. Try again tomorrow. Because at the end of the day, it's your kid. Just like us mothers, we can't go a day without their kid. We have to feel that the fathers feel the same way. Some feel like they get a little overwhelmed. She keep on giving me a hard time. Corbell did down the street. Corbell did. Go ahead. That's why you make sure stuff right. That's why you get your name on that birth certificate. That's why you pay your child support so you can have some type of documentation that you was interacting with this kid. You can't just let somebody just have so much power over you. You have to have some type of dealings with that child, because it's like when you go into court, it's like, well, I mean, she told me not never come by again. Well, have you put any petitions in? No. Have you reached out again? No. It's like you can't just give up that easy. It's her child as well as it's yours. So I don't. That's why I'm not real big on, oh, my baby mom bitter, so I don't deal with my kid. It's like, what resources did you use? Did you try to do any other? But yeah, it's like it's so much to go through it, because you definitely will get dragged in court. But one thing for sure, two things is certain: you might have your days where you have to months in court, but you're going to guarantee that visitation, and that's the main thing you will want, is some sort of visitation with that child. So while you sitting there going through your battle with your bitter baby mama, you can see that kid.
You your father's child. You know that?
Miss, we is on live. What that have to do with it?
I agree with everything you just said. I do think there's extreme cases, though. A baby mother not being toxic just because she a baby mother, but toxic in general. Every time he come around, you call the police, you putting out restraining orders, straight out lying. There are women that will straight lie in court to stop their baby father from seeing a child. I've seen it, and they know how to make this like legit. Oh, he hitting my baby. Done taught the baby to lie, so now the court think this man abusing it. No, no. So stuff like that, as a man, I honestly wouldn't go through, and I've heard men who had rough times with their children's mothers say, at the end of the day, when they did leave or whatever, it was because they knew when a child got older, they would start asking questions, they would find out for themselves, and they almost always find out the truth. So I do think there's situations like that, unfortunately.
But don't you think that during that time that you think you have with the child, do you think that the child is becoming damaged and they understand your absence, but at the same time, it doesn't take away the of what they've been through? You get what I'm saying? Like, you could say, "Oh, I left when you was 10, and I was waiting 8 more years, or 3 more years." During that time, that child still needed you. So you might feel like, I think that's just too much on each other. I think you should just continue to put up the fight, no matter how. If you need a break and it's messing with you mentally, then take your back and then go back to it. Like,
I will
this
say,
life
as
thing is.
being a child of
is
that, literally being that child in that situation. No, I didn't have my dad from the time I was 5 or 6-ish. Honestly, probably a little bit before that. Until I had my son when I was 15. So he came back around when I was 16. Um, I honestly feel like I was damaged, but I would have been damaged either way. The way that my parents would argue and whatnot, it would have been heavy on me regardless. But when I got older, I did set aside the so-called hatred I thought I had for my father based off of how my mother felt about him, and eventually formed my own opinion about him. Um, yeah, it sucks. As a child, it definitely sucked me, always questioning why I didn't have my father and he had his other children and whatnot.
So, do
But
you
like,
think that if you would have reached out sooner, you and that hatred that you thought you had towards him, what do you think if you would have reached out sooner, you wouldn't have felt that way, and you would have like probably noticed it wasn't really mainly towards hatred, but it was the fact that you was more upset with the absence?
if I would have reached out to him sooner, yes. However, if I was able to reach out to him sooner and get that information, all of that bitterness would have went towards my mother instead, the woman I was living with and a woman that was taking care of me. Because I'd have been mad at her. I would have blamed her. And when I was older, I was able to just, there's two sides to every story. Yeah, I was mad at both parties. My dad, I felt like didn't fight for me, and my mom, I felt like was too bitter to make things work so I can have my father. Yeah,
That's the thing about life. You live and you grow, and everything happens for a reason. Who knows what? If it did happen sooner, maybe he wasn't ready at the time, or didn't have, probably wouldn't have said the right words that made you feel comfortable to say, you know what? I really don't. I really can't. I can't stand your ass. You get what I'm saying? So timing definitely has its pros and cons. I will say, and I'm happy that you did mature enough and feel in your heart like, well, it is two sides of the story, because a lot of kids just feel like, hey, and they it's definitely toxic moms, and they just will still accept the fact like, oh, okay. But even in that case, you probably wouldn't, at the time in that age where you would probably felt resentment of your mother, you wouldn't probably understand until you became a mother why she felt the way she felt. And
maybe.
we be forgetting that our parents was young too. So like when you was 20, you were like, damn, that's, well, I can see why she feel like this towards him. He get on my nerves, but you probably was in a different mind state than what she was when she was that age, and she didn't have nobody, nobody to talk to. So, and you don't know how she grew up seeing stuff, like back to how you
Right.
be born in the household. So all that just got to take into consideration, and just work for what's, you know great things and positive things, so each generation can grow from it and pass it on. Because everybody, I believe that everybody come from some type of weakness. Everybody is not built with strength, and you know they be having so much other stuff going on, which is, that's how life is. And some people just not really just strong like that. It'd be taking some time to be taking book reads, research, inner peace. Some people got to find peace in themselves to just get to where they're going.
Yeah. I don't know. But this whole segment, I just kind of, this toxic baby mother, baby mama, whatever you want to call it, it really does need to stop in our community. It's giving us a bad name. Um, it's become a stereotype, which I think annoys me the most because there's a lot of good mothers and fathers in our community, and people don't speak on that. Um, there's just a lot of speaking on the toxic, child support, child support, child support. You can't see a baby, blah blah blah. I'm tired of it. Um, because at the end of the day, a woman is always going to blame the man always blame the woman, but nobody is sitting down mutually coming together and saying, okay, what can we do to fix this to help our child? And I think that's the biggest problem of all. So if anybody else would like to weigh in or have any questions, we'll take those now and then we'll close out. Sierra, you got any questions?
Nope, I'm good.
Our next episode will be the toxic friendships.
Mm, mm, mm.
That is gonna be January 5th. So I won't be doing the episode next week, but the week after. Alexa said agreed. All right. But yes, toxic friendship. So for those of you that watched the first episode, we kind of got off rails, started talking about girlfriends and their toxic relationships and Moesha. I feel like there's a lot of toxic female relationships in the Black community, and some that we don't even realize is toxic. So please stay tuned for that. I'm not seeing any other questions come the topic.
Oh,
I
you
know,
want
right?
which one? You want to answer that last one? Oh yeah, I think we did that one.
Which
We
one?
did that one. Never mind. With this, when a mother say she is single, when she yells she's a single mom.
Yeah, I think that has a lot to do with the I'm an independent woman type thing.
Yeah, we did that one. Woo,
I'm
we
an
got winners.
independent woman, but I need a man. I'm a single mother, but my baby needs a stepfather. No. Single mother, stepfather me. For those that was late tuning in, this live will still be up on Facebook, and it will also be up on YouTube. I will share the link to my page once we get off.
Are we good?
Yep. Nobody else is commenting, so we are good. Thank you, everybody that tuned in today. I hope to see you tune in next episode, January 5th, the toxic friendships.